Dear Solomonster, been a fan of the podcast for about a year now. It's a pleasure to listen every week. I was wondering if you think the pop at Madison Square Garden for Triple H's return from his quad tear in 2002 was as big as Jim Ross and the rest of WWE really made it out to be, or was it just WWE trying to bring Triple H back with a bang? It was a big pop. It was a live Raw. It certainly didn't sound as though they were sweetening the crowd noise. Now, I could have been at that show that night. I should have been at that show that night. I was not. So I cannot vouch for the pop being that big in terms of me being there. But I'm almost positive if you've talked to anybody who was there that night, they would tell you that it was a huge reception that he got coming out. And it just had more to do with, they hyped his return for weeks with those YouTube videos. Triple H, absence makes the heart grow fonder. As sick as people, myself included, might have been of him in 01, he disappeared for 8 months. And at that point, his return had some novelty to it. Now, in my opinion, it wore off pretty quick. Triple H was not nearly as good as he was when he got hurt. He put on a lot of muscle. He put on a lot of weight. I'll leave it up to you guys to figure out why that was. But he wasn't the performer that he used to be. He came back. His matches weren't as good. He was boring as a babyface, so thankfully they turned him heel later in the year. But the pop that he got at MSG that night was huge. Now, I know Jim Ross on commentary made the comment that, this is as big as any sustained roar I've ever heard at Madison Square Garden. He may have been telling the truth. It was a long, long pop. I mean, Triple H came out, he went to the ring, he posed on all the turnbuckles, to the point that his music, which was probably about 3 or 4 minutes long, started over again. That's how long and sustained the reaction was. So I don't think it was Jim Ross selling it so much as it really just was a big pop, and JR just happened to do a really good job of putting it over. Big shock. Jim Ross is good at what he does.